Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Tavian's World of Reptiles. I hope you guys are all having a fantastic day. Excuse me in my voice and everything today. I'm having a little bit of a cough and stuffy nose and getting there. It's that season. So I hope you all can hear me. I'm trying my best to speak up. But yeah, so today I did want to just chat with you guys. I wanted to talk about fear of snakes that people have. And people, there's those people, right, who you can just show a picture of a snake and they just like they shake and they're just like, ooh, they're so grossed out, and they get all scared. And most of the time those people have never even seen an actual snake in person. They don't really have some type of negative scary story for why they have a this fear of snakes. They just don't like snakes. They're just afraid of them, and that's an inherited fear, because obviously it goes way, 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 way back to the beginning of us as humans, and we had to learn very quickly that snakes were something to stay away from in the wild because we didn't have medicines. We didn't know nothing about them, and a lot of times the bites were fatal, obviously, because if they came across a venomous snake, the early venomous snakes, and we just learned quickly to just stay away from snakes, like just stay away. And here we are, millions of years later, and we still have that just aversion to snakes. So we don't even have to have a reason for it; it's just there, And uh, but also in a way that fear is kind of taught because many of us have parents who are just like, no, I'm not about the reptiles, I'm not about the snakes, I keep it away. They just were never supportive of that when we were youth. They're just it's just it's their inherited fear, and their parents taught them to be afraid of it. And for us, that fear, that statement saying that they don't like snakes, and usually that rubs off on us. We we take on what our parents say. So if our parents say the snakes are creepy and scary and woo, a lot of times we may take that on as a child, and we also feel that same way towards snakes. However, there are some of us, who we might have had that fear. I remember having a fear of snakes solely because of the fact that their eyes did not close when they were sleeping. You cannot tell if a snake was sleeping or awake because by their eyes. And I remember that being a really eerie thing for me. It kind of creeped me out, but also I was still very drawn to snakes, And so my parents' fear of snakes did not rub off enough on me because there was so much more to the snake than just this little thing that scared me about it. And so, or something, maybe something went wrong in the evolutionary factor for me. I just didn't get that same inherited fear of snakes the way so many people do. So many of us did not get that same inherited fear, or we just figured out how to work through that fear very quickly enough to appreciate the beauty of snakes. So, I started thinking about this whole fear thing because I was wondering, what was my drive? Why do I take so many pictures of my snakes and post them on Instagram and Facebook? Why do I do these videos? What is my drive? What is it that I'm wanting? Not just to share this, but what other reasons do I have for doing this? And I have come to really appreciate in the last few years that many people who follow me on Facebook or Instagram have stated that they have always been afraid of fear of snakes, and they never wanted anything to do with it. Even just looking at a picture of snakes would have scared them. But with seeing so many of my beautiful snakes and really just being able to see how awesome they are visually, they've really grown to appreciate seeing my posts and seeing my snakes, and they'll say how beautiful they are. Even though they're afraid of them, they have to admit it's such a beautiful snake. And I think that's my whole thing. I want to tackle the fear around snakes. I want to, I don't know if I can ever squash it, but I want to do everything in my power and during my lifetime to put an end to as much of the fear inherited that we have inherited over the years of snakes just by exposing people to my snakes. And if I can just get somebody, more of those people to just be like, I'm afraid of snakes. I don't even like to look at snakes. But wow, I really enjoyed looking at your snakes. And that's a plus for me. Like if I can just get people to see the snakes, to stop seeing the snake and automatically feeling fear and not enclosing their whole thought process to it. Like I want them to see the snake. Yes, they'll feel that fear, but I want them to go past that. I want them to look at the snake. I want them to observe the snakes, and really just like appreciate their beauty, because that's what happened for me. Like I feel like my fear of snakes, whatever my fear was, got squashed because of how beautiful they were. And if I can just get people to see the beauty that is snakes, like they are so gorgeous, and they deserve to be admired and appreciated. Like even if you can only look at one on a picture and say, I wouldn't want to see that in person, but I gotta say that's a beautiful creature. And I feel like if we can get people to appreciate the beauty that is snakes, then maybe we can get more people on board with helping to conserve the wildlife and the native lands that these snakes come from, and to put more effort into actually saving these creatures, as well as some of the cuter fluffy creatures that so many people put their efforts towards, because snakes are also losing a lot of their habitat, and there are a lot of them that are endangered right now. And I just think that if I can get enough people to really appreciate the beauty that is snakes, not just visually, but to see me interacting with my snakes, to see the kids that I have around me interacting with my snakes, and realizing that these snakes are not these dangerous, violent creatures that everybody seems to have in their mind, and I'm not surprised. It's not even just the inherited fear. It's not even just the parentally taught fear. It is also media. Like snakes are often portrayed in very dark light. They are big, giant, scary monster snakes that eat human beings, or and even with animal documentaries, they're really, they put that deep, dark music behind it. They get those big old scary, like striking shots. They put the ominous, like just every feel to it when it comes to presenting snakes, and thus creating that fear factor around snakes. And my whole thing is, I want to take all that away. Like I don't, there doesn't have to be big scary music to my snakes, and because they're not scary creatures. I just want you to see me interacting with my snakes and know that they're really just chill and calm individuals for the most part. Like even the most venomous snake in the world is not a monster. It's not a human killing machine. They have a lot of medical properties in the various different snake venoms out there. So to just say that they all should just be killed is a really ugly way of viewing things. And I think a lot of people who are afraid of snakes automatically think that, especially when it comes to snakes that have venom. They're just like, kill it, just kill it dead. And I don't think we should have that outlook even on the most venomous of snakes, because there are so many medical properties that can be gained from them. And some of the most beautiful snakes on the planet are venomous. And I just no, I don't think we should just kill them because they're deadly. Yes, they're deadly, but you leave them alone, they leave you alone, and if you get bit, it's something you did. Like either you didn't see that snake and you got bit, or you were messing around with something you shouldn't be messing around with and you got bit. Like, and people who work with these snakes professionally, they put their lives on the line because they believe in what they're doing. They believe in all the work that they do. They believe in the medicinal properties of the venom that they're getting from handling these snakes, and they genuinely appreciate the beauty that are those snakes. So if we can just get people to see that snakes are beautiful, and to take a moment to stop feeling fear and to just observe them and say that's a beautiful snake, then we can get to a point where they'll put more effort into actually helping the species in some way or another, or at least stop killing them. They don't need to just be killed. My biggest goal is to completely knock out that fear. But first, if I can just get you to say that it's beautiful, that's step number one. step number 2 is maybe being in the presence of one, then maybe working towards holding one. I don't know. I want to strike out all the fear in snakes that I can in my lifetime, and I just do that one video at a time, one picture at a time. Each comment that I get from somebody that says, "Oh my gosh, I'm so scared of snakes, but wow, I really like watching your videos," or "I really like looking at your pictures. I look forward to your posts every day." Like that's another win for me. It just makes me feel so good that I was able to get past whatever fear they had when they originally would see a snake and just go, "Ugh, I don't want to," to saying, "Ooh, oh, it's so pretty. It's so pretty over there." That's a step. That's a step, and I'm happy. I'm happy for that. You know, it can be it's pretty over there as long as you can just admire that it's a beautiful creature and recognize them for the lovely creatures that they are, and they each have individual personalities. Like, yeah, they've all got the basic stoic, sense about them, but they each all have their different personalities, their own little quirky, likes and dislikes, and so if you can just, I don't know, I just want to expose people to all that there are of snakes besides just, sorry, besides just feeling fear, besides just the scary movie aspect, besides just that scary, dark, ominous portrayal that is often done in animal documentaries on snakes, which I really wish would stop. Like, if you're going to do a documentary on snakes, then quit making them out to be scary creatures. Like, yes, you can teach people about being safe with snakes, but there's no reason to just like make them instantly right off the bat scary creatures with a boom boom and the scary music and the shots constantly. Like, there's just so much more to snakes that I want to bring to the world, and I guess that's what I'm doing, and that's why I do my videos. So, yeah, I guess I just wanted to talk about that. I'll probably talk more about fear of snakes as time goes on, but I had those on my mind. I just want to talk about it. I don't want to do another super long video, so alright, everybody, this is TWR. I'm checking out. Maleficent's been hanging here, chilling, not doing much, as you see, not being a human killing machine, just hanging. So, alright, everybody, love yourselves, love your family, love your reptiles, love your snakes, love everything, and y'all keep spreading those herbs.
And we're gonna let it